My fiancé and my brother hated me for 10 years. They believed I bullied their precious Lily. At my engagement party, they exposed my supposed crimes to everyone. She's nothing but a bully, they declared. In the live stream, Lily smiled tearfully. I don't blame her anymore, she said. Looking back, time heals all wounds. She went viral overnight. Meanwhile, I was vilified and assaulted by a crazed fan with acid, leading to a shared tragic end with her. When I opened my eyes, I was back in my senior year of high school. Lily was drenching herself with water and said, "Have you figured out how you're gonna apologize?" I snapped. Dragging her by the hair to the bathroom, I shoved her into the toilet. "I'll show you what bullying really is. Clean that filthy mouth before you accuse me again," I hissed. Flashbacks flooded in, painful memories of acid burning my eyes. Through the haze, I saw Lily, protected by my brother. I grabbed a knife and lunged at her chest. "Let's go to hell together," I screamed. When I opened my eyes again, everything was vivid. I saw a much younger Lily in a washed-out uniform, dousing herself with water. She smirked. "Who do you think they'll believe, me or you?" I realized it was the very first day she claimed I bullied her. Lily taunted me again. "Figured out your apology, princess." Old grudges boiled over. I grabbed her hair and dragged her to the bathroom, shoving her face into the dirty water during her shrieks. "Think a splash of water can frame me? I'll teach you real bullying," I said. Despite her furious struggles, she couldn't escape my grip. She mumbled incoherently, face submerged. I laughed out loud. "Wash that filthy mouth before whining," I scoffed. None of it mattered whether this was reliving the past or a death hallucination. I went completely feral. In my previous life, I died on my most glorious day. I was receiving my third Best Actress award, dressed in couture, standing next to my fiancé Henry at our grand, live-streamed engagement. Then, he announced, "I'll never marry someone who bullied her classmates in high school." Disbelieving, I watched Lily step up, tears in her eyes yet smiling. "Remember me, Anna, the Lily you bullied?" she asked. "I never thought I'd stand on equal footing with you one day. But I don't blame you anymore," she declared to the world. She went viral during the live stream. I couldn't react before a mob of journalists orchestrated by my brother and Henry swarmed me. "Anna, is it true you still bully newcomers on set?" they asked. "There are rumors of you visiting the hospital for an STD. Is it true?" An obsessive fan suddenly threw acid at me. "Die, slut," they screamed. The searing pain hit my face, blurring my vision forever. In an instant, I fell from grace. Coming back to my senses, I let Lily fall limply to the ground. Her innocent face was a mess, and I couldn't help but laugh. "Cry and complain all you want. Go ahead, tell the world I bullied you." With that, I kicked her a couple of times for good measure before leaving. Downstairs, my classmate Erica was waiting. "Class started ages ago, where were you?" she asked. I shrugged. "Just bullying the new kid." Shocked, she turned to me. "What?" I added. "When the world labels you a bully, you better be one." "Did Shakespeare say that?" she questioned, bewildered. "Doesn't matter," I replied as we headed to the field, where Henry appeared. Though not in my class, everyone knew he was my longtime boyfriend. His eyes flickered from me to something behind. "Anna, why are you so late? I heard there's a new transfer in your class." In my past life, whenever Lily framed me, Henry would always suggest I apologize, seemingly supportive, but actually condemning me. Without warning, I slapped him, shocking Erica again. Although taken aback, Henry remained calm, affectionately brushing his cheek against mine. "What's wrong, Anna?" It was much later in life that I learned Henry had been abandoned as a child and lived briefly in an orphanage, where he met a bright little girl. She shared a bed with him and gave him candy, a beacon of hope. That girl was Lily. When she first transferred, Henry recognized her immediately. He believed every word she said about my supposed bullying and despised me, but because of his illegitimacy, he had to appease me for a secure future through marriage. Reflecting on it, I decisively said, "Let's break up." To his pupils suddenly shrank. "Why? Give me a reason, Anna." I pulled out a tissue and wiped my cheeks that he had touched. "I don't want to date the son of a mistress. Feels dirty." "Is that reason good enough?" After leaving, Erica cautiously asked if I was possessed or something. I wasn't surprised she'd ask. Back in high school, I had such a pure, passionate crush on Henry. Waiting for him every day after school to walk home together. Even burnt my hands baking cookies for him, yet still handed them over with a smile. My affection was so obvious, the whole world knew. But things have changed now. The old Anna from the beginning of junior year is gone. Now, standing here is the Anna who has been reborn. Lily didn't show up the whole day. I knew her pride was her appearance. She wouldn't act unless she could fully use it. I waited patiently. Saturday came soon enough, my 18th birthday. My parents had promised a grand party to celebrate my coming of age, but something came up at work, so they'd be late. The chandelier lights were dazzling. I wore a custom-made dress, walking down the spiral staircase into the living room. I saw my brother Louis from afar. In a full suit, his expression distant as he called me over. "Anna, come here." I approached him, ignoring the intense gaze from Henry behind him and the tearful Lily. Flashed a sweet smile. What does big brother want? Got a present for me? Lewis's eyes turned cold for a moment before speaking. Bullying classmates, insulting friends, is that what the Walton family teaches you, Anna? He didn't bother lowering his voice. Everyone turned to look at us. What's bro talking about? I don't understand. I looked over at Lily, tilting my head. Who did I insult? When did I bully anyone? I don't even know her. It's too late to play dumb. You have to pay for your mistakes. Since mom and dad aren't here, I'll discipline you on their behalf. Lewis grabbed a cane off the nearby shelf. Staring at me, he sternly ordered, kneel down. The large hall was filled with eyes wanting to see a drama. What? Bully classmates? The Walton girl does such things? Oh, pampered ones get jealous easily. No surprise. At least her brother's fair, not covering for her. Under Lily's smug and provocative gaze, I straightened my back. Spoke with a venomous smile. What the hell is bro talking about? If you're Lewis, you'd know. If not, the ghost possessing you might know. I only kneel to deceased ancestors. I tilted my head, looked him up and down, then smirked. How about you go find a building to jump off now? I'll kneel and bow 3 times to send you off. Lewis's face darkened. From behind, Lily faked concern and spoke up. Anna, I know you don't like me, but it's one thing to bully me. How can you talk to your own brother like that? She put on a wide-eyed, innocently naive look, tears pooling up. Henry, watching, had a mysterious shadow cross his eyes. He spoke quietly. Anna, if you've made a mistake, just apologize. No need to. I widened my eyes, replied concernedly. Sorry, I don't understand dog language. Can you say that again in human? Enough, Lewis exclaimed. Anna, do you know what shame is? Who taught you to speak this vulgarly? As always, he wouldn't believe anything I said. Instead, he'd pin me to the pillar of shame with strong prejudice over and over. I forced a smile, imitating his cold laugh. Parents are busy. Wonder who taught me, huh? Of course, it's you, my dear big brother. In the past life, I both feared and loved Lewis. He was years older and, in my eyes, always an authoritative older brother. When our parents were too busy with the company, it was him who disciplined me. Even minor mistakes got me caned and starved for punishment. When I brought a stray dog home, he refused to let the maid open the door for me. Dirty thing, the house doesn't welcome that. I spent the night sitting on the porch, holding the puppy. I was young then, thought it was just his personality, unable to be as gentle as other brothers. Until Lily came along. That's when I realized. He knew how to be gentle, just not with me. I saw him hand Lily warm milk in the car, petting her head tenderly. Don't skip meals. You can count on me if money's short. Also saw Lily save a stray cat on a rainy day while he held an umbrella for her. Want to keep it? He softly asked. When Lily got drunk and babbled at him, he listened patiently, full of gentleness. In past life, I was trapped in a love illusion. Confused why my brother didn't love me, or why my fiancé wasn't on my side. It took a rebirth to wake up. I am my own person. I don't need love to survive. The birthday party didn't end well. As I firmly stood up to Lewis, my parents finally arrived. They politely thanked and saw off the guests in the hall. Lily was about to pull her same old sob story in front of my mom, but mom shut her down with a simple smile. I'm sorry, young lady, but the Walton family can handle our own affairs. Please leave. Lily was taken aback for a moment, almost in tears, glanced at Lewis, then finally turned to go. Once it was just me and Lewis at home, my dad started speaking with an air of authority. All right, now someone better tell me what's really going on. Before Lewis could even start, I jumped in. So, a new student transferred to our school recently. On her first day, she freaked out and poured water over her own head. Then she said I did it and accused me of bullying her. It wasn't until later I realized this was the girl my brother has been financially supporting, someone named Lily. Lewis snapped his head up from the sofa, looking at me with shock in his eyes. Surprised, right, brother? That little secret between you and Lily? I knew early on. I held my teary eyes, voice choking up. Honestly, I didn't mean to blame her. It was just a birthday, after all. I'm just hurt that my brother didn't believe me. It's not like Lily's the only one who can play innocent here. In my teary voice, Dad gave his judgment. Okay, no matter who did what, we're not stirring up more trouble. If it gets out, it'll be bad for everyone involved. This matter is settled. End of story. Back at school, I began bullying Lily openly. I dumped ink into her desk, made fun of her accent during her English recitations, tore up her physics sheet into little pieces, and let them float down onto her head. Come on, go and tell on me again. I smirked. Isn't that your favorite thing to do? A piece of paper casually drifted out of her hair. She looked at me, hatred burning in her eyes. But in the end, she just shook with fear and apologized while crying. I'm sorry, Anna. If I've upset you in any way, I'm really sorry. I'll change. Is that okay? You just being alive upsets me. I raised an eyebrow. So what are you planning to do? Die right here, right now? She was dumbstruck, couldn't even muster a word. So she just kept on crying. That's when I realized being a mean girl was kind of exhilarating. Of course, she told the teacher. The teacher called me to the office. I cried, talking about what happened at the birthday party, and then pulled out a hospital note. Because of her rumors, my brother humiliated me in front of so many people. Every time I think about it, I end up crying. I even wake up in tears from nightmares. I'm seeing a therapist right now, taking meds. The doctor says I'm severely depressed. In the end, the teacher ended up comforting me. Everyone could tell I didn't like Lily. Erica, baffled, asked, "Why are you so set on her? Did she do anything wrong?" I looked up and smiled at her. Can't I just be a rich brat who looks down on poor transfer students? Cut it out. She rolled her eyes at me. If you were that kind of person, why don't you bully me? My family's poorer than hers. When we met, you bought my school supplies for 3 years. I'd believe I'm a rich kid sooner than you being a bully. That's something I get. Yeah. It made sense to everyone, except for my brother and my crush. I forced a smile, though it didn't reach my eyes. In a month, the school's centennial celebration was coming up. In my past life, Lily performed a piano solo there, thanks to Lewis and Henry, and it caught the attention of a special admissions teacher. She received the only special admission spot. As for me, I'd been dancing since I was 4, for over a decade, and planned to perform a classical dance. But then Henry found me. As the sun set on campus, he hugged me, whispering, "Can you not perform? Anna, I don't want everyone to see you look that beautiful. I'd be jealous. Could you just dance for me? Only me, please." Back then, I was foolish. I thought he cared about me enough to want that. So on the day of the performance, I skipped it. Instead, I danced for him over and over in an empty dance studio. When I finished, cheers roared from the distant auditorium. Henry heard them and smiled. Around me, he was always gentle and quiet, even his laughter soft and subdued, like it was filtered through a veil. It was the first time I saw such clear emotion from him. I stopped dancing, stupidly asking, "Are you happy?" He paused. "Happy?" I thought it was because I danced for him alone. Much later, I learned the truth. He was happy because of Lily's successful performance. His one and only light, Lily, now had a bright future. I submitted the program I devised long ago. But this time, it wasn't a solo. Every girl in my class who had any interest in performing joined me to practice a group classical dance. I paid for a teacher, the best costumes, and custom props. Compared to that, Lily's white dress piano solo would look pretty plain. Who knows what she's been crying to Lewis about lately? That evening, I was stopped by him on my way home through the garden. "Anna." My brother looked at me, face as serious as a judge's. "For the school celebration performance, you need to pull out." I sneered. "Lewis, since when do you bark orders at me? Don't think I'm asking." His eyes held a frosty sneer. "If you insist on performing, you deal with the fallout." I halted, meeting his cold stare. "Brother, is your precious Lily, after all her years of piano, still afraid to compete with me? What a waste." As the school celebration drew close, Henry came to find me. "Anna, for about what happened last time, it was my fault. But you blocked me on everything and won't see me. I don't know what really happened. Anna, do you have a misunderstanding about me, or have you fallen for someone else?" When he got to those last few words, there was a distinct pain in his voice. "But you clearly said yourself, you'd always love me the most." A sudden rush of anger and sharp pain surged through my heart. I genuinely liked him for so many years. He said he didn't like me doing kissing scenes, so I turned down a lot of offers from famous directors because of that. He said Lily had a rough background and was bullied in the orphanage, so I shouldn't hold her actions against her too much. So, I forgave her rudeness time and time again. All I wanted was to exchange my sincerity for sincerity. But all I got was 10 years of slander and hatred from them. At that moment, I didn't even want to pretend anymore. Grabbing Henry by the collar, I shoved him hard against the tree behind him. He gasped in pain and, before he could speak, I slapped him across the face. I didn't hold back at all. His pale face instantly turned red and swollen. Leaning in, I said, word by word, "You and Lily have known each other for a long time. I already know. You like her, don't you? So why are you acting all sentimental with me, wanting to string me along and use me while being a sycophant for your Lily? You're just as loathsome as your mother, who chased after a married man knowingly." After the last word, his eyes showed a swirling storm of emotions, but he couldn't say another word. I sneered, let go of him, and turned to leave. That night, I had a dream. Rarely do I dream about what happened after my death in my previous life. After the cake knife stabbed into Lily's chest, I died in extreme pain. She was taken to the hospital for emergency treatment. Outside the hospital room, Henry grabbed Louis by the collar, demanding, "You said you'd take care of everything, you'd protect her." Louis brushed off his hand and said coldly, "I promised to share her with you. Without my help, do you think you, a bastard, can control the Walton family? Don't overstep." Henry took a few shaky steps back, retorting, "Did you help me?" It was clearly halfway through. He stopped abruptly. Louis sneered. "Yeah, it was my sister who helped you, but she's dead now. You were the one who contacted the person to throw acid on her, remember?" Henry stood silently in place. The red light on the emergency room door flickered. A moment later, Lily was pushed out. The doctor said the patient is still in critical condition. Henry's gaze swept over her pale, bloodless face, trembling. Then he calmly spoke, "I haven't forgotten, and I never regret it." I jolted awake from the dream, stumbling into the bathroom to hurl over the toilet for a long time. When I finally straightened up, leaning on the sink, I saw myself in the mirror. My eyes, bloodshot, were filled with hate. "No regrets," I murmured, "that's fine. In this life, you will regret it. Regret being born. Just watch." On the day of the school anniversary performance, I ran into Lily by the artificial lake. She wore a subtle yet luxurious silver dress with an expensive diamond necklace around her neck. I knew Louis most likely bought it to comfort her. "Anna, do you think being the Walton family princess will always protect you? You've bullied me for so long. Do you really think I won't fight back? I'll make you pay 1,000-fold. So what if you know about Henry and me? He loves me, and so does your brother. Someone like you will never get anyone's love." She rambled on, and I just smiled, saying only, "How's the toilet water taste?" Then, with her face suddenly changing, I turned and walked away. By evening, the fiery sunset spread inch by inch across the sky. With a group of girls from the dance team, I changed into our performance outfits and hurried with our skirts lifted towards the backstage. Halfway there, I realized the prop for my finale bow was missing. Did I leave it in the dance studio? I thought back carefully and decided to go look for it. Erica asked, "Want me to come with?" "No, it's not heavy. I can carry it by myself," I said with a smile. "You guys go to the backstage to prepare your makeup and also arrange our prop order with the set designer." The large multi-purpose building was empty. I lifted my beautiful golden skirt and took big steps up the stairs. Just when I was about to reach the floor with the dance studio, I stopped. Standing a few steps away on the stairs was someone. The golden red evening light shone through the window, illuminating only half of his face. Most of it was shrouded in darkness, and his eyes were as deep as ocean whirlpools. "Henry?" In a low voice, he asked, sounding like rain threatening to fall. "Anna, what are you planning?" "None of your business." "Get lost," I said, trying to move past him and head upstairs. Suddenly, an immense force hit my shoulder. My mind blanked for a second. Before I realized it, my body was already falling backward. Behind me were dozens of high steps. Landing on my back, I tumbled heavily down the stairs. Amid the overwhelming pain, I crashed beside the iron railing, nearly hearing a slight crack in my ankle bone. Henry walked down the stairs one step at a time, stopping beside me. Staring at me with those calm and sorrowful eyes, he spoke in a cold voice, "Anna, don't blame me. From birth, you had everything. Even if you miss this chance, you have plenty of paths to walk. But Lily is not like you. She's done her best, as much as she possibly could." After saying that, he grabbed my already sprained ankle. He slammed my leg hard against the iron railings nearby. Suddenly, images from my dream flashed in my mind. He was standing outside the hospital room with my brother. They looked at Lily being wheeled out of the emergency room with eyes full of tender affection. But when he mentioned me, his voice was indifferent. I never regretted a thing. 15 of the best years of my life, the most passionate and sincere love, were all tied to a person like this. I suddenly started laughing. Just before he slammed my leg into the railings, I swiftly pulled away from his grasp. Worthless. The pain in my sprained ankle took my breath away. But before Henry could react, I grabbed his hair and forcefully slammed his head against the railings. "You vile scum, dreaming of screwing me over again, huh?" Henry's head hit the metal with a loud thud. Blood immediately started gushing from a sharp corner, trickling down his face and dripping onto his clothes. "Anna." Gasping, I let go of his hair and stood up. The pain from my ankle pulsed continuously, but it didn't matter. I looked down at his pain-stricken eyes and slowly began to smirk. "So passionate, eh? My little lord, willing to destroy me here just to create a future for your precious Lily? Is this the warning Louis gave me? You all planned to share her from the start? Utterly disgusting." I hiked up my skirt and used it to wipe the blood off his face, smearing it until it was stained all over. Then, leaving him there, I ran into the hall as the sky darkened. From afar, the sound of a piano echoed out from the hall. Lily was playing that same piece from my past life. Debussy's Clair de Lune. She sat before the white grand piano on stage, dressed in a silver gown. The stage was dark all around her, with just one spotlight shining down, like the lone flicker of a star in the night. Just like in my past life, when she climbed over me at my engagement party, dazzlingly beautiful as she tread on my blood and flesh. I ran down the narrow aisle between the seats, pushed past the guards and host trying to stop me, leaped onto the stage, stood in the sole beam of light and kicked Lily aside, slamming my fist onto the piano. In her astonished eyes, I began to lose it. Play, 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 I dare you to play. Sending your little fanboy to hurt me, and you're here playing for your father, huh? I knew it well. The guest professor invited by Lewis was in the audience. In my past life, after hearing Lily's Clair de Lune, he contacted her right after the recital and offered her an exclusive admission slot. Lily agreed. That was just the first step in her bright future. Soon, with Lewis's careful arrangements, she became the last disciple of a music master in school. I, because of filming, had to play a genius pianist with autism. My agent arranged for me to learn from the same master. Just a brief encounter with Lily. That night, I returned home to be confronted by Lewis at the door. He looked at me with contempt. Anna, won't you ever stop? Just because you're inferior to Lily, you hate her so much that you'd tear up even the sheet music she copied for the teacher? You're a rotten seed. I was stunned for a few seconds, and as soon as I came around, I wanted to defend myself. But he cut me off with a wave of his hand. Nothing but lies. Not a word of your deceit will I ever believe. Amidst the uproar in the audience, I heard someone scream, blood, look at her dress, it's covered in blood. My blood-stained, dusty skirt, my disheveled hair, and my swollen ankle, everything on me confirmed the truth in my words. Lily clung to the piano bench, struggling to stand. Her eyes filled with deep-seated venom and hatred, but eventually, she returned to her usual weak and innocent facade. Anna, I don't know what you're talking about. There must be some misunderstanding. But this is my performance. Out of respect for the audience, you shouldn't have rushed up here so recklessly. Lewis stood up angrily from the audience and shouted at me, Anna, have you lost your mind? I ignored him, pushed Lily aside, and sat down at the piano bench. I started playing Beethoven's Symphony No. 5. In my previous life, to truly play in the film instead of using hand doubles, I had practiced this piece for 3 solid months. Not perfect, but in this scenario, it sufficed. The intense notes echoed through the hall, accompanied by faint electric buzzes, reverberating under the vast dome. Once I finished the piece, I spun around, stared her down, and declared boldly, you ruined my birthday party, drove wedges between me and my brother, slandered me in front of my family and friends, all trivial, I'll get back at you in my way. But ordering Henry to push me down the stairs to break my leg just so I'm not here on stage, I paused, focusing on her suddenly pale face, and sneered, piano is your pride and joy. Don't even have the confidence to compete and beat me head-on? Chaos ensued on stage and off. Eventually, the faculty in charge of the celebration recital took Lily and me off stage. The host came on to smooth things over. The next act was our group classical dance. Backstage, I brushed past the girls performing with me. Erica ran up, tears in her eyes, grabbing my hand. Are you hurt? I should have gone with you. I'm okay. I smiled, patting her head to calm her down. Go and do your performance. You've rehearsed so much. Give yourself the show you deserve. The prize for first place in the celebration was $100,000. 6 from the very beginning, this dance wasn't choreographed for myself. Watching them walk onto the stage, I felt a weight lifted off my shoulders. Then, in the intense pain and fatigue taking over my body, I closed my eyes. Even my consciousness seeped into darkness. I woke up in a hospital. Later that night, Lewis burst into my hospital room. Crazy. Anna, you're just crazy. He wanted to take things step by step and put his sweetheart in the spotlight. Like nurturing a flower to bloom, it gave him immense satisfaction. But brother, why would I give you that chance? What are you gonna do, brother? Your Lily didn't even finish her piece. And your plan to break my leg got exposed. She can't get into the school she wanted anymore. Suddenly, I remembered something. Oh, yeah, your accomplice Henry is still lying on the floor in the complex. Remember to send him to the hospital when you can. I laughed, clutching the blanket as it tugged at the wound on my ankle, distorting my face with pain. In the reflection of his pupils, I saw myself, looking a bit mad. Maybe I had been crazy since the day I died in my past life. Lewis's facial muscles twitched slightly, a flash of anger in his eyes. But then, his usual cold and aloof demeanor returned. Does it matter, Anna? Even if Lily's performance failed, you didn't get your dance. On top of that, your crazy act was all caught on camera. This time, you can't just fake a diagnosis and brush it off. The school has already contacted our parents. They're planning to expel you. I I laughed. It's just a suspension. Do you think I care? Lewis, don't forget, I'm a Walton kid just like you. As Henry said, if one path closes, I've got plenty more. My goal from the start was simple, bring Lily down. That's it. She falsely accused me of many things in our past lives. I made them all come true in this one. The roads she traveled, I'll block every single one for her. We're not done yet, Lily. I made quite a scene at the school's anniversary celebration, even hit Henry and Lily. And the bullying thing? It spread online. Stirred up quite a buzz. The feud between the rich princess and the poor girl, now or 10 years back, always gets attention. But this time, because of my clear words on stage, my disheveled look, and that furious rendition of fate, many sided with me. Maybe it wasn't just rich girl bullying the poor. Her playing doesn't seem like that. Are you a paid troll? Can music really tell you that? Seriously though, look at her. Her ankle's swollen, she's covered in cuts. Who bullies someone and ends up like that? Say what you want, but this girl has a beautiful spirit, 8 versions ahead of her time. Finally, Erica and the girls I danced with argued online. Anna isn't like you guys say. Lily started it, provoking her. It was a heated online mess. I spent days in the hospital, not knowing how Lewis explained it to Dad. By the time I was discharged, Dad looked at me, his attitude icy. If you go unchecked for a while, you go this far. Since the school won't take you back, you should study abroad. Hide for a few years, come back when it's all blown over. His attitude didn't surprise me. Between me and Lewis, Dad always favors his son. Even when the engagement party scene happened in our past life, Dad was alive then. Lewis couldn't have pulled it off unnoticed. But he never told me until I died. Still, it doesn't matter. I smirked. All right. You've always wanted to study acting. I'll help you apply to a performing arts school. No. I suddenly spoke up. I want to study finance, business. They both froze for a moment. Dad looked at me again, his eyes gaining a deeper understanding. My school application was quickly arranged. Henry's injuries were far worse than mine. By the time I recovered, he was still hospitalized. I heard Lily visited him, comforting him, saying it wasn't his fault, that you were too heartless. Erica brought lilies and visited me at home. Those two are conspiring. They wanted to break your leg, so where are you being heartless? I looked at the flowers in her hand. Aren't these expensive? You should use that money for yourselves. It's fine. Everyone knew you were going abroad. We all chipped in and got them for you. She handed the flowers to me and took a deep breath as if steeling herself for something. Anna. Yeah. I always felt like you know things I don't. Ever since Lily transferred, something seemed off. I can't really explain it. If it doesn't make sense, just dismiss it as my ramblings. She sidestepped the flowers, cautiously hugged me. Come back soon. When you're back, we'll still be friends. The night before leaving, I sat with Mom on the balcony under the gentle evening breeze. She looked at me, hesitant to speak. I held her hand, looking into her eyes. Mom, don't worry about me. In my past life, Mom died in a car accident. When she was around, Dad's favoritism and Lewis wouldn't dare target me directly. The thought gave me pause. In the end, Lewis was madly obsessed with Lily. Was my mom's sudden accident more than just an accident? The thought made me tense, and I instinctively squeezed her hand tighter. You have to stay safe. Take care of yourself. I paused, then said, be careful about Lewis. Anna, you seem different from before, my mom said, staring at me. Before sighing, it's my fault. You used to be so naive, believing everything people said. I told you Morgan's son was unreliable, but you defended him, saying he's not like that. I even asked your dad for shares as a birthday gift for you, but you just wanted jewelry and dresses. It drove me crazy. I wished you would be smarter, more cunning. But if this change came at a terrible cost, I'd rather you stayed naive. How could any mom not understand her own kid? In my past life, I was innocent, always thinking the best of others. Lily took advantage of me countless times, yet I never really fought back. And in the end, I died at my own engagement party. That won't happen, Mom. I pressed my reddened eyes, letting out a light laugh. In this world of the strong eat the weak, someone like me only gets devoured. Sadly, I learned this lesson only after dying once. I was 18 when I left for a year abroad, dragging my suitcase. Everything around me was foreign, unfamiliar, but I wasn't afraid. I knew too much about what was going to happen. Even without clear details, knowing the key moments was enough to do a lot. The most crucial moment was in 2 years. In my previous life, when I was 20, Lewis got insider info and flew to San Francisco to partner with a guy named Jeremy. Jeremy had cutting-edge core technology, which over 5 years helped Lewis gain complete control of the Walton family empire. I invested the money my mom gave me in the stock market, using the remnants of my past life's memory to multiply the seed money several times over. Meanwhile, at school, I doubled down on my courses while investing in companies that would later become world-leading corporations. Many were just starting out. During this time, Erica reached out often. Weekly voice messages telling me how the dance team missed me after I left and how much better her life was with the bonus money she received. Recently, a university's self-admission took place. Lily tried but failed during the interview. It's funny, the professor who interviewed us was at the school anniversary performance, Erica shared. She said Lily's performance of The Moonlight was muddy, unlike your fate. Who'd have thought? The more Lily cried in Henry's arms afterward, the happier I laughed. When the exam results came out, I was first in the whole school and third citywide. I was swamped with double major finals when I got that message, but I still broke into a genuine smile. Congrats. Anna, I'll be waiting for you to come back and be friends again, she added. My mom would call regularly too, updating me on Lewis and asking about my life abroad if I had enough money. She would sound relieved yet helpless when I shared bits of my progress. You're still just a girl, don't push yourself too hard, she'd say. If you need help, don't hesitate to ask mom. I then mentioned Jeremy's name and shared everything I recalled, asking for her help to investigate but told her to keep it from my brother. I got to San Francisco a month before Lewis. Outside of school, I spotted a familiar face on the nearby lawn. A younger Jeremy stood there with a stern-looking girl with short hair and glasses. That was my research. Who allowed you to negotiate for commercial deals without my permission? She demanded coolly. Jeremy chuckled nervously. What's yours? What's mine? Didn't we create this together? I came up with the idea, did the experiments, and you just helped record data. How do you figure you have the right to deal with my work? She shot back. Jeremy's smile vanished. Moira, don't be unreasonable. Graduation is near. Isn't looking for reliable partners for development the best way to maximize benefits? I caught her icy gaze as she replied, I've said it. That's mine. The patent's in my name and you don't know the core tech. Think you can develop it? As long as I'm alive, it's impossible. And we're done. From now on, we have nothing to do with each other, she said, turning away. Jeremy stood still, his eyes following her, glazing over with a sharp edge. Suddenly, I understood. In my past life, I overheard Lily asking Lewis how he secured talents like Jeremy. Lewis, then by the pool, laughed and said, because he needed my help. What was more intriguing was that I never heard of Moira before. I arranged to meet Moira at a cafe far from their school. Sitting across from me, she got straight to the point. Anna, I know why you're here, but I'm not selling. Why not? I asked. She hesitated, then admitted, it's still a prototype. I froze mid-sip of my coffee. I know you business folks care about commercial value, but I don't. I only care about the final results and how it could transform human technology. To me, that's the most important thing. I looked at her intently. When she talked about her dreams, her plain face glowed with an indescribable brilliance. She was a dazzling girl. She should have been a great scientist remembered for generations. But in the last life, because of the selfishness of two men, she died in a foreign country, vanishing like dust under the wheels of history. If there's nothing else, Miss Anna, I'll leave first. I suddenly reached out to stop her, looking at her sincerely. Miss Moira, I'm willing to provide all the funding and resources you need for your research. And you just need to do me a small favor once you get your results. Your achievements will still be yours, with your name in the history books. How about that? The day I returned home, the first snow fell softly all around. As I wheeled my suitcase out of the airport, I immediately saw a billboard nearby. It prominently featured Lily's impeccably made-up face. While I was busy setting up a company abroad to contend with Lewis, who was gradually taking over the Walton family, he was not idle either. After failing to get her into special recruitment and failing her interview, Lewis managed to get Lily into film school and she successfully debuted in the entertainment circle. She truly is consistent. I smirked sarcastically, getting into the car. Driving through the thinly snow-covered traffic, the car headed straight to the company building. 3 days later, the bidding meeting was another crucial point. Moira and I stayed at the company for 3 days, ensuring the plan was optimized to the best. At the public bidding site, we won that bid without a doubt. When announcing the winning company, I stood up from my seat and met Lewis's shocked gaze beside me. You, Anna. I curved my lips into a smile. Long time no see, brother. When it ended, he chased after me all the way out, cornering me in the hallway, his tone still filled with disbelief. Bosley is your company? Moira disappeared. Did you hide her? Huh? You're in such a hurry, Lewis. I burst into laughter. What do you mean, hiding her away? You didn't even know her, so why are you so obsessed with finding a living person? Are you planning something illegal? Then, with his suddenly sharp glare, I left laughing. This time, I returned high profile. After landing the contract, I started networking everywhere, meeting quite a few big names in the business world. Because I held Moira's patent for exclusive use rights and just snatched a big project from the Walton family, everyone was extremely kind and friendly to me. This kind of experience I never had, even in my past life with 3 Best Actress awards. People, you really do need control over production resources after all. I raised my wine glass and sighed. Next to me, Erica turned around, examining me up and down. I feel like you just went out for 4 years and came back looking looking a decade more mature. Well, it's normal, right? I mean, at 18 you can act crazy because you're young. I said, now I've graduated college and I've got to put on a show of decency before baring my fangs. Having said that, I raised my paddle, calling out a bid, 200,000. Lily, sitting in the front row, abruptly turned around. Even Henry beside her looked at me. The moment our eyes met, he appeared slightly lost. I spotted the faint scar on his forehead. Suddenly it felt amusing. 260,000. Regaining his senses, he immediately raised his paddle, beginning a bidding war with me. I knew this diamond-studded bracelet was meant as a gift for Lily, with her birthday coming up in a few days. Even with all his efforts to gain some authority at the Morgan family's company, it was nowhere near Lewis's overwhelming control of the Walton family. To win favor, he had to find other routes. I kept bidding alongside, watching him spend 600,000 to win the bracelet. Smiling, I remarked, such deep affection. Henry held the bracelet, silently looking at me. After a long pause, he gently said, Anna. Oh please, I'm gonna puke. I took a dramatic step back, scanning him up and down. After a moment, I snorted lightly. You're more capable than your mistress mother. At least you climbed up successfully. I just wonder how you and my brother schedule your time. Monday, Wednesday, Friday for you, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday for him, and Sundays together. I said it without hiding my volume a bit. Sure enough, as soon as the auction ended, business friends came asking me about what was going on. I had a hard time pretending to be in a dilemma. My brother and that Morgan family illegitimate child fell for the same little star. Come on, that's small potatoes. Haven't we all loved foolishly before? For true love, anything's bearable. Not only did I spread rumors about the three of them, but I also took my funds into the film industry, nurturing new female stars, stealing several key roles from Lily from her previous life. There's no way Lewis could tolerate his Lily being wronged like this outside. He immediately struck out at me. Perfect, that's what I was waiting for. Without action, how do you reveal the flaw? My name and my company suddenly ended up as a hot topic. Founder Anna of Fosley involved in campus bullying, Anna spreading dirty rumors, Lily being bullied. The video of me smashing Lily's piano during the school celebration rehearsal got released again. Only this time, they cut out the part where I played Fate afterward. Not only that, they contacted classmates from senior year to verify I indeed bullied Lily at school. Yeah, back then Anna never liked Lily, tore her papers, poured ink into her desk, and led all the girls in class to isolate her. In the video, the guy looked indignant, but because she was a rich princess, Lily couldn't do anything about it, just put up with all the grievances. Then things escalated and the school expelled her. But what did she do? Turned around and went abroad to study, getting that gold-plated education. And now, she's all of a sudden a rising company founder. The company's stock price kept dropping for several days. Several partners called, gently asking what was going on. I knew I had to give them a satisfactory answer, or they'd pull the plug on the collaboration. Just hang tight. I spun the pen in my hand, smiling as I chatted with them. We're all business folks here. We know it's not wise to act rashly without a sure thing. Luckily, Lily wasn't as patient as I thought. She hated me even more than in our past life, and when she saw my reputation going downhill, she seized the opportunity. During a live stream, she brought it up. I remember back then, the teacher asked me to read aloud. I grew up in a village where one teacher taught many subjects and I learned mute English. It's kinda embarrassing to admit, but when she laughed, I realized for the first time my pronunciation was off. That school performance? I prepared hard for it. I studied piano for so many years. Her tone seemed calm, but at the end, her eyes glistened with tears. The comments, whether gossip-hungry viewers or paid trolls hired by Lewis, went wild. Honey, you did nothing wrong. You're amazing. She's so shameless. Doesn't even know her place. How dare she mock a hard-working regular person? Wait, am I the only one noticing the contradiction? She said she went to a village school with no English teacher, but also learned piano for years? I couldn't help but laugh at that last comment, but it flashed by, quickly buried in a sea of words. That live stream hit over 5 million viewers. The next day, my dad called me back and sternly demanded I merge Fosley with Walton. For years at school abroad and you learned nothing. After just a few days back, you caused such a mess. Hand the company back home and make a public apology. I looked at him silently. Dad, get your facts straight. It was my brother's girlfriend causing trouble, not my company. You bullied her first. He slammed the table, glaring. If you keep disobeying, I'll act like you're not my daughter. I chuckled. Sorry, but you didn't give birth to me. That was all, Mom. Soon, Walton and Morgan announced their partnership. The two families teamed up to take down my company, snatching several big projects away from Fosley. My dad publicly announced he was cutting ties and never had a daughter as vicious as me. In the company parking lot, I narrowly dodged an acid attack by Lily's extreme fans. He's plotting with my dad to use my teenage meltdown and diagnosis against me, trying to lock me in a mental institution. Same old dirty tricks in every life. Well, my counterattack is about to kick off. Brother, watching me lose ground step by step, seemingly powerless. Right then, Lily won her first Best Actress award, and her birthday was coming up. Lewis threw a big party for her. The venue was lavish, packed with fans, and went live online. Lily wore a white dress, sweetly thanking her fans. The next part was a fan-recorded greetings video. The big screen behind her flickered on. The footage was blurry, shot stealthily, like someone was secretly filming. On a film set's dressing room, another actress was fixing her makeup when Lily suddenly crashed into her. Grabbing the other's hand, she slapped herself. Then, under that actress's stunned gaze, she smiled. "Who said you could snag the role I wanted? Who gave you the guts to let me be your supporting actress? Know who my boyfriend is? Lewis, CEO of Walton. When he sees my bruises, have you thought about how you'll apologize? Or rather, when your on-set bullying video comes out and you're blacklisted, how'll you make a living?" The last shot showed her eyeing that actress's chest with a sneaky grin. "No," Lily screamed, lunging to block the screen, but it was too late. The fans at the scene were already in an uproar. Amidst the uproar, Lily and Lewis's names skyrocketed on trending. "Lily, my boyfriend is Lewis. Lily birthday live stream. Lily and bullying again." The comment numbers surged dramatically. Erica sat next to me, typing away on her phone wildly. "Lily, why do you get bullied everywhere? Is the whole world against you?" And it got thumbed to top comment. "Oh God, she really hit herself. Her face is swollen. Without that, how can she prove she was bullied?" If I recall, the female lead wasn't originally hers for the film she won the award for. It was someone else who was popular, but after her photos leaked, she vanished. Couldn't land the role, so she relied on framing and fake scandals. As discussions flared, another video climbed the trending list. It's shot in a foreign university, filled with all kinds of hair and eye colors. They burst into laughter after a foreign student's speech, mimicking her slightly off accent. The skinny blonde guy leading the mockery recited flawlessly, saying, "You know what this is? This is the proper British accent, Joker." And then I grabbed his collar, punching him in the face. With a perfect accent, I snapped back. "What's so funny? Did you laugh like this at your dad's funeral too?" He raged, yelling for a fight. And I hit him back again. With my shoe tip under his chin, I smirked. "Know what this is? This is skill, yokel." 10 The video uploader, just a regular international student, says, "I was born a girl from the mountains too. Almost got tossed into the fire by my grandma when I was born. But unlike Emma's, Lily, our village didn't have pianos or a sponsor giving me thousands a month. Just someone who took almost 30 years to muster the courage to step out, only to be mocked on the first day of studying abroad. I just can't stand seeing someone twist the truth and slander those who helped me." The comment section was buzzing. "Am I seeing this right? Isn't this Anna, who Lily accused of bullying her and mocking her English?" Finally, someone said it. What kid from a village learns piano for over 10 years? The logic doesn't add up, yet so many believe it. Wow, girl's a badass as benefactor? Wasn't Lily's benefactor Lewis, Anna's brother? Who knows if he's just slandering to fight his sister for inheritance? Then there's a video from my 18th birthday. Back then, Lily jumped off a rooftop to get sponsorship, accusing another orphanage girl of pushing her. There was surveillance video of that. Evidence of Lewis hiring a hitman, not just attempting to kill Moira. To expand the Walton family, take projects, he and my dad did shady stuff behind the scenes. I owe it to my mom for getting all this. Last one is about Henry. Manipulated his own mom for 7 years, drove her to suicide in front of his dad. Used his mom's death to get into the Morgan family. I poured a ton of money collecting this info and lined it up from clues I gathered from past and present lives. Sent it all viral. Thanks to their previous antics, there was already tons of attention on this drama. With the law-breaking crimes exposed, it blew up instantly. People rushed to call the cops. They couldn't even cover it up. Those trying to manipulate public opinion will be crushed by it. Are you satisfied with this ending? The day my dad and Lewis were taken by the police, my mom threw a divorce paper at them. Lewis yelled in disbelief, "Mom, aren't I your son? Why are you favoring Anna? I'm your child too. Dad favors you. I favor your sister." My mom sighed, sat down with a sip of tea. Things in this world are always fair, right? Those Walton Morgan projects they snatched from me hit one scandal after another. They got slapped with economic crime charges too. I took over the Waltons' battered business and merged it with Fosley. Then met up with Harvey, now in charge of the Morgans. She's Henry's half-sister. Her parents had a business marriage. I used to hate that woman, thought she wrecked my family. Then realized if my dad hadn't cheated, Henry wouldn't exist, she said, lifting a coffee cup. Getting killed by her own son was karma. We teamed up about a year ago. I'll help her kick Henry out of the Morgans for sole control. On the condition, she helps me with resources here. Like this social media frenzy. Quite a bit was her doing. I'm curious, how did you guess his mom's suicide was linked to him? She asked. I just smiled. because in my past life, he did the same to me. Before sentencing, I made special visits to see my old acquaintances in jail. First up, my brother. He glared at me fiercely. I grinned. Don't look at me like that, bro. I know what you want to know. I've already been thrown out like a stray once. Did you think I was just living it up abroad all these years? I barely slept during those tough times, scraped every second between classes and corporate gigs. I was hustling to gather these clues of their evil doing. Their schemes were so slick, it seemed like second nature. I figured this wasn't the first rodeo. Turns out, I was right. Louis, Dad always said I wasn't like his daughter. He raised you to be an autocratic brute, breaking laws for goals. Thank goodness I'm nothing like him. Next, I met Lily. Hair a mess, looking haggard, glaring at me with hatred. She couldn't keep up the Lily act, shrieked through the glass about why I didn't show the evidence sooner. What's the fun in that? It's fun, of course. Why else would you have kept it up so long? I stood up. It's way more fun to let you think you've won everything. I could have dropped the evidence earlier, but that wouldn't be enough. Let her think she had it all, then watch it all come crashing down right before dawn. That's what I went through in my past life. Now it's your turn. Lastly, I visited Henry. I didn't really want to see him. With Lily, it was always war. With Louis, blood ties. But Henry, once my love for him faded, he and I had nothing left. But the police said Henry wanted to see me. So, sitting across glass from him, I waited. He stared silently for a while. Until I grew impatient. Why did you want to see me? This isn't how it was supposed to be. 11 He spoke softly. The Walton family should have been mine, and we should have been engaged. I stopped in my tracks and sharply turned around. He was staring at me, his dark eyes glinting with something unreadable. I looked at his face. If it weren't for the faint scar on his forehead, I could have sworn I was seeing Henry from a past life. Once I snapped back to reality, I found it ridiculously amusing. Just engaged? What about what happened next? You got everything from the Walton family because of me, then teamed up with Louis to kill me. But, long after, I regretted it, he said, his voice hoarse. Only, you didn't know. I really wish you could know. Absurd. Laughable. Yeah, I'm already dead, so of course, I wouldn't know. I turned away, leaning against the glass, looking at him, and said deliberately, but even if I knew, so what? Who cares about your regrets? This time, I'm the one who won, and you're the one going to hell. Henry, this is what you deserve. The winter came early this year. When I left, it was already dark outside. Moira called, saying she's going abroad after the new year to start a new experiment at the lab. I said okay, and wished her a safe journey. After the call, there was a message from Erica on Ins, saying she's already seated at the restaurant, telling me to hurry up and settle the bill. I chuckled and replied with a simple okay. Outside the car window, a crescent moon hung high, illuminating a corner of the inky night sky. Once this night passed, the moon would set and my sun would rise again. The end.